Not sure how you pronounce that. ThiEYE. ThiEYE. Yeah, nice one. ThiEYE. So I don't have any I don't have any 4K cameras at the moment, and the price point for me is still too high. I think the price point and the low frame rate are what put me off. So I'm having a dabble with this, and I think this was 50 quid, which seems to be about the price of everything I'm buying at the moment. 50 quid. This is a camera, a 4K camera, like the GoPro 5, the 4K. This says 30 frames a second as well. A lot of the ones that you get for this amount of money are from like anything from 15 frames per second to 24. This is the only one I found that's saying it's 30 frames a second. What? Oh god, I don't know if you can see that. So it looks like the camera's got a cover on the lens, which is fine, but there seems to be a scratch on the. Yeah, definitely that looks really quite scratched. I'm trying to. There's a couple of big scratches. Well, not massive scratches, but I suppose you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So inside the box, we've got a case, rather like the GoPro case, with a latch, rather like the GoPro latch, with 2 buttons in a similar place on the front and the top, and 2 buttons on the side. Okay, so we've got mode and power on the front, record on the top with what looks like a status light, looks like a Wi-Fi and a down arrow, and on the back an LCD screen. So that's the camera, and weirdly the camera feels lighter than it should, so I suspect the battery's not in it. So that's the camera and the case. Very standard stuff, you know, well copied, shall we say. And a box. Inside the box we have, I suspect, a cable, micro USB cable, possibly for charging, a couple of well, a straight foot, as in a straight foot. I suspect there'll be a couple of pads. Yep. There's a foot. They are getting very good at this, aren't they? You know, they're not bad. I mean, the ultimate test will be what it looks like when you're recording, but the stuff you get with it, I suspect. So this is the normal thing, but it looks like this might rotate. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, that rotates. And I can't see a way of stopping that rotating. I mean, it's quite a bit of force to do it, but that rotates. And the only thing I can see is there's a screwdriver. There's a Phillips screw in there, because tightening that up is not going to stop you turning this. So yeah, so the foot you get with it has got an axis of movement that you can't control. That might be a problem, might not. Let's keep an open mind about that one. And a battery. Oh, 2 batteries. Yeah, I'm fairly. Yeah, that's not too shabby, really, is it? Not too shabby at all. You know, you get one foot, one straight foot. Normally with GoPros, you get a straight and a curve, and I was going to feel a bit cheated that I didn't get a curved one, but I've got like a drawer full of curved mounts that I've never used. So they probably saw that. Pads, I'll just make sure there's nothing else in the box. Normal stuff, and I suspect some bad English in here. Oh no, it's a sometimes they try and make out that it's British made and British built and British, but you know they only give British. But I like the fact that this is saying we're sold in many countries. You know, we're not pretending to be British. Why would you? You know, you're already pretending to be a GoPro. As long as you're worth the £200 I saved. Oh god, yeah. So instructions, which I might read later. Let's see if we can get this thing fired up. I need to get into there. How am I going to get into there? Where's my... Let's move that box. Yeah, so that's the battery compartment. Yeah, I suppose what we could see is if they've copied the batteries from GoPro. Weirdly, that still feels very light. Very light. See if there's any charge on the battery. No charge. So let's charge it up, and we'll have a play with it. But I'm pretty impressed. So let's get it charged. Right, I've got a bit of charge in it now, only a bit. So turn it on. I must be press and hold. One day I will read the instructions. Somebody at the door. Okay, so what are we at? We're at 1080, 60 frames a second. I've got a card in. Let's go through the modes. Camera, obviously. Slow-mo. That's gone to 7. So we've gone. Let's see if I can. So as I'm cycling through the modes, we've got obviously playback, settings, 1080 60 frames a second, 12 megapixel stills, 720 120. So I suspect that's for doing slow motion stuff, playing stuff, and settings. So let's see if. Yeah, okay, so bottom mode takes you to modes. The top one is the yes, and then the two on the side are up and down. So if I go yes and then up and down, 1080 30, 720, 720, 60, 4K 30 frames a second. So yes please. Voice recording. Focus on me. Why not? Let's do voice recording. Time-lapse video, close, slow motion, 720, 120, okay. So, let's go to the mode. We're cycling through the modes now. Exposure, language, press OK to exit. So that's now set to do 4K 30 frames a second. Hit the top one and I'll start recording. stop recording. And it said voice command. Let's see if I can quickly work that out. What do you reckon it would be? Record. Go. Record. Well, I'll work that out and then I'll get back to it. Voicey, voicey, voice. Da 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 da. Down on the eye, press the Wi-Fi, if you control the camera on your spot from the app. Base rate, chase camera, the mirror, video recording. Video recording mode, time lapse, slow motion, loop and record, photo mode, car mode, with the camera off and on, automatic charging connected. When the car is started, the camera will turn on and record automatically when the car is off. Hey, that's good. So it's got a car mode as well. So like the normal things you get for in the car, it'll, I suppose it's not that hard, starts when it gets power and turns off when it stops getting power, and loops, I suspect. Okay. Yeah. So this bit's not completely relevant because obviously it's a camera. We need to film something with it. That's what we need to do. But so far, really impressed. Apart from the little scratches that you won't be able to see, they're minute, but I can see them. They look a bit. Yeah, they do. All of this stuff is really quite fresh. And you can see there's a cover on some of this stuff. You can see some of this stuff has got like a this has got a cover on the back of it, and that looks like the plastic has still got the cover on it, but you can't get to peel it off. Well, I'm not sure if that's what it is, but yeah, that's a bit rubbish. Right, let's go and film something. So to film my kind of my comparison, I made a bit of a rig to put a couple of cameras together to show them side by side. Hero 3, Panasonic, this new one that I've been trying out, a Session 4, and the ThiEYE i60e. Now, these three would be maxed out. Obviously, I'd have these at 1080 and putting those on. But obviously, this one is a 4K camera. So my plan was to film stuff, and with the app, change this one to 4K, then to 2K, both at 30 frames a second, and then down to 1080 at 60 frames a second, and see what the comparison was. I ran into a bit of an issue with that. When I uploaded the 4K onto, and I use iMovie, I just had a red sort of tint over the whole thing, so it didn't work. I could upload straight to YouTube, but I couldn't edit the footage. Yeah, so I could upload straight to YouTube, but couldn't edit. Then there was an update for iMovie who said this gets rid of a red tint that happens to some cameras. So I thought, great, I'll put that on. No red tint, so red tint gone. But I now had a black flicker on 4K with this camera. Again, the 2.7K was fine. All these were fine, but the 4K wasn't working. And my plan was to trial this as a 4K camera, possibly not for biking, because I don't want this camera on the side of my head, and obviously if you're doing a video, you want to do a video all in 4K with 4K stuff, so you'd want that in. So this part of the review, the kind of the product, has to wait. Am I impressed with it? I am impressed with the camera. So I'm not saying it's lower quality than anything else I've got here. It's just different, and the difference is worth the difference in money as well. So it's not a bad quality, and it's a good 200 quid cheaper than kind of the same standard of camera with functionality you get now. So if I had to choose a camera on a limited budget, this would definitely be the one I'd choose. Yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with it, but I'm thoroughly impressed with it as a second camera for me, as a camera that will be filming something other than the main subject, other than my drift, for example. That would do the main stuff with the sound. This would be filming something else, another angle. So I'm impressed with it in that respect. Yeah, and I hope when it's sorted, I'll get this rig out again when I can edit the footage from this in 4K, and hopefully that'll be a decent video.